on Fridays or like over the weekend, but I feel called to do it. So some of you guys are going to be focused on doing more like self-love, self-care work. I actually had this for a good while on, so I'm actually gonna remove it. But I was finishing or starting to do some self-care. So I thought I'd go on here and start the live, just kind of finishing off my self-care routine. I had mentioned, of course, that today is Wednesday, so depending when anybody watches this video, just consider this a timeless collective message. Originally, I did want to do yes or no questions, but I just kind of felt called to talk about other things. But if it leads to doing yes or no questions, then you will see that on this live. So, in general, since the beginning of Cancer season, which is the current season that we are in, I'm actually going to check if YouTube has notified that I am live, which I don't think it has. Let's see. I haven't received a notification. Let's see. Sometimes YouTube does a good job just notifying people, and my subscribers do get notified that I am live, but we'll just go with it. Regardless, this live will be posted on my channel. Once again, depending when you watch this live, just consider it a timeless collective message. So again, I had mentioned that is Wednesday, so Wednesday is associated with Mercury. Mercury is associated with communication and technology. So earlier today, I'm gonna adjust this. So earlier today, for those that know me personally and follow me on social media, so if you have me on Facebook, that one's more of like a personal social media account. But I just felt called to just start posting like intuitive messages that I was receiving. And it's not the first time that that has happened. Um, I tend to do like once, maybe like a year. But today I just went for it. I'm like, I know people see my content. I know people, just tend or prefer to like scroll by instead of interacting or commenting or even liking the posts I like reshare or anything like that. But I know people are watching. I always state that on my social media, even if it's not just for me. So this may resonate with someone, that when you post on social media, there's always somebody watching. There's people keeping tabs. You just think they're not. As someone who does post content here and there, I do receive insights, especially on here on YouTube and on my Instagram. So if you guys have your like account set for like as a content creator, you'll get insights. Like I get literally thousands of views on my Instagram, but if you like check my followers or the like amount, it doesn't match up. But it's because people just will click on people's accounts and post or come across people's posts, but they won't follow. So that's for whatever. But going back to Facebook, so I just started posting like messages that I was tapping into, and I try not to do that because sometimes like I can read people without having to shuffle tarot cards, without having to use oracle cards. I can read people just based on like their energy. And it also depends like how open they are and how open I am. But on Facebook today, I just started like going for it, like certain people or like situations were popping up on my mind, so I was just like typing away. So I posted a couple of things, and at first no one was really commenting or liking it, but then I started getting people that do know me, and they're like, you know they're like, what the heck, like, who are you talking about, like, you know basically like call them out, and I'm like like, listen, I know some people would be so like hurt about what I have to say because they feel triggered by it, that they may take it as like me really placing judgment on them, when it's just me tapping into like certain energies. And as I stated like on my Facebook, if what I stated is the truth and it's not for me to seek attention, because I get it attention regardless, right? Again, as I stated, I do get insights on my social media platform. So I know how many people, how much traffic I'm receiving on my social media accounts. So that's not like, the main reason why I posted that. But I know people are seeing it and they're just scrolling by. But I know people are like really intrigued to know like who I'm talking about, but that's not my intention. My intention isn't necessarily to call people out, because if I wanted to call specific people out, I would have done so by now. And some of these individuals already know that I'm talking about them because it was such like a specific situation, and some of those situations I posted about has I wasn't actually involved in it. I just know it. And it's just kind of like a reminder to myself, a reminder to others that like there are people out here, thank you for the hearts. There are people out here that can read energy. There are people out here that do receive insight. There are people out here that they don't mean to tap into your energy, but they already know what the hell is going on, right? So maybe that's a message for someone, is like you need to be mindful of like your actions or your thoughts or the things you say, because other people are aware, right? One of the, I guess, statuses, one of the things that I posted on there says something around the lines of, some people don't say hi to you because, hello, hey, thank you for tuning in. Just talking about um, the posts, the collective messages that I put on my Facebook. So one of the posts said, once again, that some people don't say hi to you because they think you're reading their mind. And it's true. Like, have you ever, not just in general, depending on like your perspective or even your mentality, or even if you, as like a child, you ever wonder like, am I a mind reader, or can people read my mind? Like, I feel like there's someone out there that has experienced that. But I literally sensed that recently from someone that was next to, and it was weird. I was like, why did that pop up in my mind that they think I could read their mind? And I went up to them and I said hi to them, and they were like, "Oh, hi," but I could tell like they didn't necessarily feel comfortable going up to me. So I made like small talk and stuff, and afterwards, like, it didn't like click because it was such like a busy time. But like later today, it was just like I couldn't focus on other things I was doing. I had to focus on these messages and just like type. Again, it wasn't directed necessarily to anyone specific, but it's just like I had to let it out. And it's like that's so funny because like there are people out there that think you can actually read their minds. Yes, I used to purposely avoid my thoughts because I thought certain people could read my mind. LMAO. Isn't that crazy how like that happens though? Like what happened, throughout like your childhood or in a situation that makes you think that maybe movies, maybe shows can influence that? But I think that's so funny because again, it just popped up in my mind when I was talking to this specific person. This was recent too. And I felt like they're like, oh, they could read my mind. And the fact that that did pop up in my mind, I will say that yes, I didn't necessarily read their mind, but I sensed their energy, which I think is funny. So, bringing up that today is Wednesday, again, associated with the planet Mercury. Mercury is associated with technology and with communication and some other things. And the color blue, I'm not wearing I don't know, like a periwinkle blue. That resonates with anyone. Maybe someone here likes blue, but um, it was interesting because it wasn't until like I started before doing my self care stuff is when I thought about it. I'm like, oh, today is like Mercury Day, and that's what I did on my social media like platform on Facebook. So again, it wasn't for me to like try to get anyone's attention. Is just I felt the call to do so, and it wasn't necessarily me to put like anyone on blast. And I'm going over my throat chakra, so that might resonate with someone. In general, like in the beginning of Cancer season, I did state that Cancer season was gonna be a little chaotic, more in the sense of like it felt kind of like mischievous, troublemaker kind of energy. So that may resonate with some people. And because we're going into Mercury retrograde, there's like other retrogrades occurring. I don't study astrology that much or don't know too much about it, but someone here will understand that. But it's like be mindful, right, of communication and things you say. Because I was just like going for it, but then a part of me was like, okay, I can stop here or I can continue. And there were other things that were popping up in my mind, and I'm like, F it, I'm just gonna type it. But I was like, nah, don't do it. Because at that point, I'm not tapping into the messages I'm receiving to state it because it needs to be said. If I would have allowed myself, then I would have been stating downloads I was receiving, but to cause a trigger on purpose, if that makes sense. So some of you guys could be experiencing something similar to that, or will be experiencing that. You might be involved with or come across someone that is going to say some things and is going to trigger you. And that's the part of you that's going to have to process, deal with, and think about, is this worth my time? Is this worth my energy? Is this worth um I don't know, dealing with basically. And I did experience this on my previous live. I did have like a wannabe troll come through and try to like say weird stuff, or they were saying weird things. And like they could have been lying, they could have been telling the truth. I don't know. But towards the end, they were saying something around the lines of like, you actually know me in real life and I know you. And I'm like, okay, like, you know how many people follow me, how many people are subscribed to me, and they know me in real life? Like, well, what was that supposed to do? Was it supposed to put fear into that moment? So I chose to not like I entertained it a bit. I entertained the troll, but I tried not to let myself lower my energy to them, because like what was the point, what was the purpose, right? So again, what I was talking about earlier is like me stating the truths, the downloads I was receiving, but the intention once again wasn't for attention. Again, I get attention regardless, and I say that in the most positive way possible, but some of you guys could be experiencing that. As I mentioned earlier when I first started the live, some of you guys are going to be focused on self care, or maybe you're going to start incorporating things into your self care routine. If not, definitely do so, especially if you are around my age or older. I didn't start doing anything really extra to my self care until I was like, well, past like 6 months or so. So it's gonna be very important, because when you take care of yourself and you do things that make you feel good, you not only start to feel good about yourself, you're raising your vibration, even if it's just like day by day, even if it's nothing like too drastic. And over time, people will see that, right? So, for example, like with me doing my self care, I'm just making sure that like I'm not having dry skin, right? So that's one thing. Sometimes I do go through moments where I'm like, I've been doing the same thing, like what's happening? So sometimes you might have to do some sort of change or do more of or less of. So associating that with just like general collective energy, you might be dealing with a situation where you may have to incorporate more or use less of or do less, if that makes sense, or you might have to do some sort of change. Just the way I read, I like to associate things with like general things that are happening around me, because since I'm reading as a collective, I feel like everyone resonates to an extent. But yeah, like those downloads, I was trying to do a little ASMR moment. Wait, I forgot I had the mic on. Um, but yeah, like you guys may, or actually, I just got this. Maybe some of you guys are gonna come across information that you're like, what the heck? Or like, no way. Like this person did that, or that person is capable of doing something like this, or oh, this person was talking badly about me, or this person, like you're gonna come across information that like you would have like never thought that you would know, if that makes sense. Like there's a specific post I put that said, actually there's two of them, two specific ones that like really got people's attention, and they're like, say their names and who wasn't and call them out. But I'm like, again, if it's these people know, because it's all energy, right, that I'm tapping into. And what's crazy is like a specific situation I posted about, it's like that same person became aware of that post. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you're part of like the problem, you're part of the reason, right? And I know like some people are just like really intrigued by like the information, or they just like want to know details and stuff. But it's just like intuitive downloads I was receiving. And at the same time, like, it low key was me calling people out, but I'm gonna state that allegedly, certain things that I'm aware of happened, right? Man, I've been saying this for years. I got screenshots, I have pictures, I have videos, I have proof, one way or another, of people, at least towards me, and people I know, that have tried to cause issues or tried to lie, manipulate, control. I have proof of that. And that's why it's important, as I stated in my previous, I believe, two lives during the energy for Cancer season, is that you guys are gonna have to like set your boundaries, right? Again, being mindful of your communication, because you don't just want to cause issues or say certain things that you might regret later, especially during Mercury retrograde, which I believe starts on July 15th or July 17th, one of those dates. So you can search that up yourself just to be a little more accurate in the timeline, let's say. But yeah, I mean, there's just a huge thing about communication right now, and be mindful of it, because especially with the tone, again, maybe you're gonna find something out, maybe somebody's gonna say something and you might take it the wrong way. Just be mindful of that. Some people don't necessarily understand what's going on during certain situations or moments, because they're lacking, excuse me, they're lacking like the ability to process like all this information, right? So sometimes they might need like extra help from other people. Maybe they need to have a conversation with a specific person, or maybe they need time to themselves. Maybe they need, yeah, like a little bit of time, and then they like hear something, or they listen to a collective message, they watch a tarot reading, or they're scrolling on social media and they come across a post and like something specific is shown to them, and I'm getting something more visually, but maybe even like if they hear something and it just clicks for them, right? And that's literally that's what happened to me earlier. Is like I was just scrolling on social media and I just started thinking things and I came across something and it like triggered the, let's call them the downloads, right? The intuitive messages. Thank you for the hearts. And it just clicked. So I just started like posting, and you know what? At least it like confirmed that I'm not the only one on my social media that likes to be a chismosa. And a chismosa is like a gossiper, right? And for me, a chismosa is not necessarily a bad thing, um, because we're all human and we like to know things, especially if you're a very curious person. It just, you could talk about other people or situations, but never talk above someone, never think that you are better than a person, or that you'll never experience a certain situation and you like talk so badly about them, because life can literally rock your ass and life can literally flip your world upside down. And I say that through experience. Like, I say it through experience because, younger me was naive, younger me was, um, yeah, younger me was younger me. So there's been situations or times where I may have said things or believed things, and then, you experience life and you're like, yep, yep, the universe sat me down, let's say. Oh, self care. I did state that as well in my previous Cancer season, I believe, update video. But then the past couple lives is just based on Cancer season. And it's just going to continue for every season moving forward, is tapping into that energy. So I did state that some of you guys are going to be focused on cleansing and self love and self care, but mainly like self care for the next month. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be affected in a sense regarding Mercury retrograde, because there's going to be emotions. I meant to say situations, but I said emotions. So if that resonates or will resonate, but there's going to be situations popping up that you're like, oh, okay, now I got to deal with this. Or like, oh, I have to take time to process it. That way you don't make any mistakes, or you don't act in haste, or you don't possibly say something that could hurt someone else's feelings. Because in the moment, you might not think that you didn't take it as seriously as they did, if that makes sense. But since I did state the importance of setting boundaries, honestly, some people are gonna deserve what this retrograde season, but this Cancer season is going to bring to them, because they've been able to get away with many things. They've been able to get away with talking badly about perhaps their, I don't know, if some of you guys have children with an ex, like the universe is gonna sit their asses down and be like, oh, you're talking badly about your baby daddy, you're talking badly about your baby mama. I'm about to show you, the universe is about to show you why they've been doing the damn thing. Why you do talk smack. You talk smack because you lack the other individual. And it doesn't have to be that situation, it could be even in partnerships. You have to be mindful in partnerships, but it could be with a family member, with a friend, with somebody mutual, somebody around you. It could be a coworker, but there's going to be a situation where you will have to be mindful again, but setting boundaries. And the universe is going to sit their asses down. And I never wish anything bad on anyone, but I do believe in karma. And karma does not play. Karma, oh, it smells good. Karma takes its time. Time is energy, right? Divine timing. Some of you guys could be waiting for a certain situation you're waiting to get justice on. So some of you guys could be dealing with like a court case. Once again, since I mentioned like parenting, basically, if that resonates with you, or perhaps like an offer of some sort. So it could be like in career. Some of you guys could be waiting for some sort of opportunity that was presented to you. So divine timing and karma is going to be important throughout Cancer season, Mercury retrograde, this retrograde season, that you do the best that you can do for yourself, of course for others, but not to the point where you're giving too much. You're giving away your energy and it's not being reciprocated, right? That's like my own personal tip, my own personal advice, even for myself, is being mindful. Like, don't do too much for others, especially if you know they're not going to reciprocate that energy back. And it's a call to pull back, right? Your energy, because you need to have enough of it so you could take care of yourself, so you can feel good, so you can have that like mental, emotional like stability. I'm also getting like the importance of sleeping, the importance of taking care of yourself, the importance of going to bed early, and water. And and I need to drink more water. But I'm working on it. Right? This past like 3-4 days, I've been really focused on sleeping. And it's tough because like growing up, and someone could resonate with this, but like growing up, sleeping or like sleeping in or taking a nap was associated with laziness. And even as an adult now, there are times where, like, if I want to take a nap or I want to go to sleep, or I do tend to fall asleep and it wasn't like intentional, there are times where I may feel like I'm lazy. I feel bad. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't feel bad. But it's one of those things that's like, right, retrograde season, or whenever you may watch this video. Once again, this reading, this live but collective message reading will be posted on my channel. But like old situations, old memories, old feelings, people you used to be involved with or talk to may present themselves. And I say may because retrograde season affects people differently. Not everyone has the same experiences, right? I remember for like a good couple of years, literally every retrograde, Mercury retrograde, which is like, I believe 3 times a year. Yeah, 3 times a year. Like people from the past would always pop up. And it's like, I had a feeling, I knew it. And for me now, retrograde season has to do more with like, okay, it's a reminder of the importance of like going with the flow and not forcing things, not forcing situations, not forcing people, right? Not forcing connections, and self-care and self-love. So that's going to resonate with, excuse me, sorry if I moved it. It's going to resonate with some. For those that, I mean, I'll just say like the basic info that I know regarding Mercury retrograde. For those that don't know, is Mercury, again, is a planet associated with technology and communication. And I'm just surprised the way I'm talking. Like, I'm being so, like, patient with myself and what I'm saying, because normally, especially when I go live, I talk, like, really, really fast, and I just try to get, like, all this information out. So I'm taking it as a sign that it's okay to go in a slower pace, because you don't have to be like this all the time. And again, that's normally how I am. So I'm actually surprised, and I'm like, you know, even like taking my time to like brush my hair. So that could be a message for someone, which also reminded me of, again, going back to the meaning of Mercury retrograde. If you have any plans coming up, or you are establishing plans, it's going to be important for you to double check, triple check everything, because you want to make sure that you have everything that you need, that everything is set accordingly, because you don't want to be in such a rush, right? And not taking your time. For example, like if you're packing something, maybe you forgot something, right? You may have forgotten like your phone charger, or if you need to do schoolwork, or I don't know, you're working like remotely, or you need to check emails or whatever, and you have like your tablet or your laptop with you, which I believe I also mentioned in one of my previous lives, right? Talking about Cancer season. That definitely has to resonate with someone. And I'm like really focused at looking out my window and I see the clouds. I feel like some of you guys could be traveling by airplane. Again, my eyes are so focused on like, I mean, the sky is pretty clear today, but I'm like really focused on the clouds, so that could resonate with someone. But going back, so Mercury retrograde, again, associated with technology and communication, can be associated with emotions, with the sign Aquarius as well. Sorry. I'm like, my hair's been so tangled. I'm really trying to make sure like I get this done. But Mercury is, excuse me, when a planet is retrograde, it is seen as going in reverse, right? So in reverse, so things are going the opposite, let's say, or in a different pace than it normally is. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. So, for example, once again, talk about Mercury. When it's in reverse, or if things that you had planned or things that you were talking about, there could be stagnancy, miscommunication, lack of communication. There could be a waiting period. The best thing you can do is just be patient. Of course, you can be more, I don't know, the word dominant is coming through. You could be more dominant in the approach, but don't force it. That's like a huge thing. Like, don't force things, because if you force it and you don't go with the flow, the universe is going to sit you down, right? As I mentioned. So that's going to be important. Some of you guys could be growing out your hair or incorporating some sort of like hair oil or hair product. I actually want to search it up. Like the meaning of like hair growth, if that makes sense, in other cultures. I'm actually going to type in long hair in other cultures, because I feel like that resonates somehow. Cultures. Let's see. In many cultures, for example, long hair. So in general, just like hair growth, but let's just say long hair is associated with beauty, strength, and social status, while in others is linked to spirituality, tradition, and even sexuality. Let's see. For example, in China, long hair has historically been linked to wealth, status, and political loyalty. Let's see. In India, long hair is considered a natural gift and is associated with the bounty of nature. Also believed to enhance energy levels and intuition. Okay. Native American cultures seen as a physical manifestation of the soul and a connection to Mother Earth. That is very beautiful. Let's see. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Maasai culture. Hair serves as a visual language, with hairstyles indicating age, marital status, and social role. Let's see. Symbol of longevity and connection to nature. And there's like other perspectives as well. So let's see. In ancient Greece, in men with long hair was often associated with power and wealth, while short hair was linked to servitude. So that's interesting. Okay. European Middle Ages, long hair was sometimes associated with freemen, while shorter hair signified servitude. Okay. Let's see. Doo-doo. Okay, so there's more regarding that. So, in religious beliefs. So, I feel like that resonates with someone. Again, some of you guys could be growing out your hair, or taking care of your hair. I feel like that's something perhaps related to culture or to your culture, or something that you would like to do. So, give me 1 second here. Okay, so we're not gonna tolerate weirdos being weirdos, because it's none of your business. Okay. But yeah, for example, for myself, I feel like I've been taking care of my hair a little bit more within the past like 2 months, since I'll say as of like Gemini season. But definitely it kind of resonates with me and makes sense during Cancer season. I'm just trying to like take care of myself better. And I do now, especially as an adult, I do associate my hair with like my ethnicity and my culture. Of course, you can have short hair or a shorter length, different hairstyle, different hair color. It doesn't matter. Excuse me, because your hair is a form of expression. So some of you guys may be thinking of perhaps changing up your look, trying a different hairstyle, different hair color. But a lot of people, like on social media, if you follow like those type of accounts that are more like love and light, or like more humorous regarding spirituality, um, the witchy aesthetic and stuff, they will say to not cut your hair during Mercury retrograde, especially your bangs, because something is going to go wrong regarding cutting your bangs, or it just doesn't come out right. And, it's, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get a good, bang trim, and sometimes you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have cut my bangs because it's not giving what I thought it would give, right? If that makes sense. Another thing that popped up in my mind is, um, because I was mentioning, right, like different cultures and hair growth and stuff like that, is something I recently started doing. One of my siblings gets haircuts or trims their hair based on like a chart, a hair cutting chart. For like specific days in the week that is beneficial and or not beneficial for you to cut your hair. So if you cut your hair on a specific day, it could bring you bad luck. Or if you cut your hair on a specific day, like you're good, like coast is clear, right? So that could resonate with somebody regarding their culture, or it's something that, they've always done, or it's something that they might look into doing. The past 2 times I've cut my hair, I think the second to last, I wasn't able to find a like calendar chart online, because it was like at the end of the month. So it was like, okay, nothing's showing for like a 31st, nothing like that, or a 30th. I can't remember which one it was. But this time around, as again, I did follow a chart, and I think it was good, because if not, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I did my own like layers and stuff like that, and I actually feel like it helped my hair a lot. So again, this may resonate with someone. Um, so if you go to like a hair salon or to a barber shop, especially if it's like somewhere new, please do your research. It's so important for you to do your research, because you risk your hair just being like butchered. Again, if it's someone new, if it's someone you trust or you like their work, right? Do your research, go for it. Um, but I don't know. I feel like this may be like a tip, or it may resonate with somebody. It makes sense that way. Is again following like a chart online, so like a hair cutting chart. My understanding, and if it's like incorrect information or the way I'm stating it, I apologize. And is that okay? I don't think that was an eagle, but it looked like an eagle. But I don't think that was an eagle. I'm like right next to my window. It looked like an eagle. I have to search it up. What is the meaning of seeing an eagle? It'll look like it. Yeah, I thought the life froze on us. I was just double checking. Bear with me. Okay, so now I'm gonna search up spiritual meaning of seeing an eagle. I like to search up stuff like that because I think it's important. I believe it's associated with freedom, transformation, but let me confirm with good old Google. I know I have a video. I don't know if it, I don't, it might be alive, but it's like from a couple months ago, where I just saw it again. I swear that was an eagle, but it's like kind of small. That looked like an eagle to me. Yeah, that was an eagle. I've never seen an eagle this close. That's pretty cool. That's crazy. Okay, so let's see. Yes, so freedom, themes of power, perspective, represents a message from the spiritual realm. So some of you guys could be receiving messages perhaps when you're meditating, doing divination work, doing any spiritual work. Maybe if you're like by a body of water. I know for me, when I am next to a specific area where there is a body of water, and if I go live and I do readings, I tend to get really fast and quick intuitive messages. So, as I was saying prior, I do have a previous live from a couple months ago where I stated I saw an eagle flying by, and then in another live, like following that one, I saw like a eagle statue nearby, and I'm like, that's crazy because I've never noticed it before, and I've been here like several times. Let's see, a sign of new beginnings or a call to action. Let's see. Eagles, known for their roaring heights and keen eyesight, symbolize a need to rise above limitations, gain a broader view, yes, broader view, and embrace personal growth. So, power and strength, freedom and independence, perspective and wisdom, messengers and guidance, new beginnings and rebirth. But if we see it as more of a like, what do you need to know? It can represent seeking guidance. So some of you guys may feel like you need guidance regarding a situation, especially if it's regarding you like moving, or regarding perhaps like a job opportunity, a job offer, or I got like call to action, plan to action. So there's something that you want to do and take action on. You may be seeking guidance. Again, you might be getting information if you are doing some sort of like divination work or meditating, or again if you are seeking like guidance, definitely do so. Be mindful who you receive guidance from and like downloads from, because it may or may not resonate. So since this is a collective message that doesn't resonate with everyone, again, everyone's experience is different. That's why it's important for you to do your own research and see what people have to offer. Don't just get a reading from someone because I don't know, they offer like a really affordable, I don't know, one card reading. Like their readers will do like, oh, book a session with me and get, a one card reading for $11.11. or spell work, whatever specific intention, spell work for $7.77. Be mindful. Yes, you can get great downloads, intuitive messages, details, readings, guidance, help from people who offer like a really affordable um, price, but you also have to take in account like their energy. Okay, so if that resonates. Overcoming obstacles, embracing your true self. That is something that I kept seeing today and yesterday, but mainly today, is like really just embracing your true self and not caring what other people think about you or what they have to say about you. And that resonates back to me stating earlier in the live of me receiving downloads and just posting about it on my Facebook. And it's like, it's going to resonate with whom it resonates with, but this is the truth because I have proof of it, on top of like the intuitive messages I'm receiving, and it definitely resonated because I saw proof of people reacting to it, and there's specific people, and I'm like, aha. Taking action. So if you want to know more about seeing an eagle, Google it. It will resonate. Same thing as I said before is like if you're in the process of growing out your hair, it may resonate with you. So associating that with spirituality, right, growth, changes, transformation, it may resonate with you. Okay, that is the end for this topic. If any of you guys would like to book your own personal reading, go ahead and email me at intuitivelovedaily@gmail. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. It is intuitivelovetarot. You guys can also message me there. If you guys have any questions, especially if you've never gotten a reading, it's okay. It's okay. Any questions, go ahead and message. I will respond back because I think it's important for people to be informed as much as possible, especially before getting a personal reading. Again, be mindful of who reads for you, who taps into your energy, because that can also affect your energy. Okay, so talk to you later. Bye.